further from the truth. Where's this go? This actually goes up top to the announcement.
It is a lot of work to do to be part of BCTV.
How is that possible? What did I miss on homecoming when I wasn't here?
It usually takes us about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what troubles we have.
All right, Devin, got a little knot here for you.
You're going to be able to maneuver around things that are on the field and the setup that they have. You have to make sure you're connected to the truck and have a picture and have audio.
Sometimes you might plug in something wrong. Sometimes a wire somehow gets damaged, goes short. Sometimes it's just you don't have enough wire fed to you. Battery dies, power box isn't working, audio isn't working.
Good group of people, but at the end of the day, mass chaos. Like I said, 100%. I think that's the best way to describe it.
How long does it take to set up? All the malfunction, it probably takes like 2.5 hours to get everything like absolutely perfectly set up.
Keep pulling some slack down. Don't take it on the field. And when you pull enough slack, then walk. You got plenty. Double back. So which one do you need? My hand. What is this? Where's this go? Down into the IFB cable that goes to the truck. You ready?
We're trying to shut down. I mean, it's one thing. Last one we had
You tell me. Have Kyle say something now.
Anything else, guys? All right, we're out of here. Nice job. Right? How long does it take to set up? 5-10 minutes. I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face. So I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? A lot of people think that like my dad is big on this. He thinks there's a magic box that sits on his table at home. And a lot of people think this too. And this magic box just kind of spews out magic and a big bouquet full of special effects. And that's television that you kind of, and it's done. And television is not done that way. It involves a lot of planning, a lot of paperwork, a lot of stuff that doesn't even cover television production. And the list is ongoing. You know, people say to me, oh, doesn't it take like 2 hours to do a 2-hour movie? And they couldn't be more further from the truth. It takes hours, days, weeks, depending on what the project you're going to do for television. For example, and it's all different. You could show up at a football game. Now, a football game goes on at what, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of people say, oh, how hard is it just to show up and just slap a camera up there? Yeah, I'll just slap a camera up there. The camera weighs, I don't know, 30 pounds. You got a tripod that weighs more than the camera. You got to carry it all up to the top of a stadium. I mean, up steps, up a straight ladder, up on a big perch like the bow of the Titanic, you know, and you're looking way out over top of it. How long is it just to take a slap a camera up there? You just can't slap a camera up there. It's impossible. It takes a long time. And then even when you slap the camera up there, then you have to pull all the cable up there to connect it to the television truck. And that's just the video part. Audio can take even longer, you know, when you get hums in the microphones or mics that just don't magically work. That's part of every television production. It's not just Bethany, it's not just BCTV, that's every television station.
My name is Tyler Castle, and right now I'm the technical director for BCTV.
My name is Katie Malone, and I'm the equipment director and technical director for BCTV.
Okay, my name is Alexis Naples, and my role in BCTV is broadcasting and doing like camera work and stuff.
My name is Lamont Whiteside, and my job description is camera 3.
My name is Dakota Kotzel. I have a couple roles at BCTV. The biggest role I have done is play-by-play of sports, mainly football.
My name is Carlo Guadagnino, and I guess my role would be the host of Game Day and Bison Roundup.
When it comes to choosing my role, I didn't really get to choose my role. It was kind of placed in my lap, but at the same time, I enjoy every second of it.
I chose the role that I'm in because I want to do this when I grow up. I really want to be behind the scenes and do all the fun stuff that's behind the scenes of TV shows and stuff like that. So this is my start to get there.
Why did I choose the role that I'm in? I always wanted to do something with TV ever since I was little. I was always like, oh, I want to be on TV, and I would always tell my mom that, and she's always like, well, when things got serious, I actually was like, what should I major in? Like, this is actually like my life now. She's like, I definitely think you should go into communications, and right then and there I was like, I want to be a broadcaster, and I'm happy because it's something I've always wanted to do, and I haven't changed my major since I've been here like most college students, so it's something I've always wanted to do, and hopefully I can continue doing.
And I chose camera 3 because I wanted to be a part of the action, and I feel like in the truck I wouldn't get to have the experience of kind of being in whatever we're recording or doing. But being camera 3, it's like a front row seat to everything, so I get to get a good sight of whatever's going on, and it's just like with that camera so close, it's like I'm a part of what's going on even though I'm not.
I chose the role for what I am in BCTV as play-by-play for one. I've been a big sports fan my entire life. Anyone who knows me on this campus knows I'm a giant Cleveland Indians fan. I love baseball. I grew up watching Steelers. I grew up watching the Cleveland Cavaliers as well. And I've always been like, I said, what do I want to do? I want to do something with sports in my life. I'm like, but I'm not very good at sports. Like, I'm not going to the NFL. I'm not going to Major League Baseball. I'm not going to the NBA. So I'm like, I always listen to commentators. I'm like, why not do commentating? And I kind of did when I was younger, played around doing with video games. Like I would be playing, like say I was playing like MLB The Show. I would actually mute it and call it the game myself, and I think I did well. And then when I came here, I just wanted to do play-by-play, and I also did do camera and other things. I also want to have my a repertoire, your resume, whatever you want to call it, more open, just to get my foot into the door eventually in the future.
Why did I choose the role that I'm in? I mean, I was on radio and I wanted to branch out of that, see if I could do a TV type thing. And James Peterson, Skip Smith, and Juicy J, they kind of started a game day show, and Professor Gamble, we tossed an idea around and kind of took off, and here we are 3 years later. And I mean, it's been a cool experience. And then the Bison Roundup show was kind of my own little creation. I just thought it would be nice to have a show where athletes could go on and get interviewed for their performance that week and kind of talk, have their time to be kind of glorified, since D3 athletes don't really get their as much publicity as everybody else.
The prior experience that I had before BCTV was I did video editing and camera work in high school. I was 11th in the nation in digital media production. I was 3rd in the state, and I was 1st in obviously Northeast Ohio. So other than that, I mean, I came here and learned a lot.
I did some TV classes in high school and did a morning show type thing for high school, but other than that, I really did not do anything else really with television until I really came here and Sprouse took me in and showed me everything about BCTV.
Actually, not really. I just kind of jumped into it this year, and I mean, I absolutely love it. I did some radio stuff last year, if that's what you want to consider some prior experience. I had a radio show, I was the sports director there, and I absolutely loved it, and I figured I would just love TV 10 times more, and it turns out I do. So I'm happy that the path I chose.
In high school, my high school had a small TV production department. We did like morning news, and we covered like certain events on campus, like pep rallies and some football games, but it wasn't as in-depth as this program is at BCTV.
Yes and no. I say no because I've never really called it in high school or anything. But I say yes because in between my junior and senior year, or sophomore and junior year of high school, I forget which one it was, of the summer, I went to Waynesburg University and I attended a camp that was actually hosted by former play-by-play announcer of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Lanny Fratteri. He's a professor down there now. And they had us go through some stuff, and I had an idea what to do. We had advice. I'd kind of taken some class, because he kind of had a class-based few things through a 5-day camp from a professional. He called it the professional level. He called, Major League Baseball games. He's called no-hitters. He's seen it all in baseball. I mean, he was back with the Pirates before they had the long 20-season terrible route, before they've ended it a couple years, 3 years ago now.
When it comes to setting up beforehand, it usually takes us about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what troubles we have. Sometimes we have audio problems where the announcers, we can't hear them, so we have to switch up the mics or the different cords that we have to put together. And also at the same time, some of our cameras, the glare is bad, or we have green on our screen or something, so we have to figure stuff out. And every time we set up, we always have some kind of problem, and we're just accustomed to it now.
It can vary with different like interviews. It could take 20 minutes, but if it has like we're filming a volleyball game, a football game, it can be 3 hours. We try to do as much stuff with cords and setting up and making sure everything's in its place, and the audio and our announcers, so it takes a while for us to actually get everything perfect.
How long does it take to set up? Well, if the game's at like 1:30, we're usually here by 10, and if things go smoothly, honestly, it only takes like an hour, but that's so rare. So between all the malfunction, it probably takes like 2.5 hours to get everything like absolutely perfectly set up.
The setup at BCTV, it usually takes, we come 3 hours early, but the actual setup is, for camera 3 is usually about 45 minutes at the most, because you have to stretch your cable, the length of the field, and make sure you're going to be able to maneuver around things that are on the field and the setup that they have. You have to make sure you're connected to the truck and have a picture and have audio coming from your camera and things like that. And once you get that done, you might run into other areas with the camera, so you want to like check your batteries for your camera and make sure all the wires are set up properly, you can hear everyone, and just make sure you're ready as a person to focus to get your mind right.
As long as it takes to set up, for the entire crew on a good day, it could take it half an hour to 45 minutes, because you have all the things you got to get done and make sure everything's done correctly, because you even got to factor in the small thing. Mainly if you're over at Bison Stadium to a football game, well, you got camera 3 going out to the field. You got to make sure you have that wire right across the walkway covered up, because if not, you don't want fans, a coach, or anyone coming through tripping over that, because that's all kinds of a whole different ball game.
Some of the most common problems that we run into for BCTV is usually audio. Mr. Dumas always reiterates that video is not usually the problem, but audio is usually the problem.
Equipment is something that it can either, work, or it can just say, nope, not today.
Probably wires. Wires are like one of the biggest issues, especially working behind the camera. One game before, they'll have to cut something, and then we'll have to have Professor Sprouse drive back to the TV station or Mr. Dumas and fix all the wires and get everything situated and make sure all the plugs are in.
The wires are a big problem with camera 3. It's just because like there's so much going on the sideline. There's players, there's benches, there's cheerleaders, and then you're trying to get that perfect shot that the director wants you to get, but sometimes your wires don't want to cooperate with you. So it's just like, I gotta get those in the right place so I can get that shot.
Most common problems I'll run into, first I'll just touch on camera. Sometimes you might plug in something wrong, sometimes a wire somehow gets damaged, goes short. Sometimes it's just you don't have enough wire fed to you, battery dies, power box isn't working, audio isn't working.
Down into the IFB cable that goes to the truck. So we only need 3 XLR cables, and we need 1 BNC cable to go from the monitor here with a barrel on this end to connect upstairs into the back of the monitor. Yes, make sure, I don't want all that crap. Nicely wound, turn that cable. How is that possible? What did I miss on homecoming when I wasn't here?
I don't know, I didn't even know it was wired. I'm guessing when it was rewired.
I think that's what it is.
All right, that's IFB. Go ahead.
I could not do my job without probably, it's hard to choose one because each part that goes into my job, I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for everyone else. So when it comes to camera people and the audio and the graphic people, I can't really choose one to be specific.
Who could I not do my job without? I could not do this without Tyler Castle. He has helped me so much with technical directing and learning everything in the truck, outside the truck. He's helped me a lot just getting into more of the behind the scenes stuff on BCTV. I also, again, wouldn't have been involved with this without Professor Sprouse. He, brought me in and showed me everything, and I haven't left since, so.
Who can I not do my job without? Professor Sprouse is definitely one of the biggest influences I've had. If it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't have got so involved in TV. And Katie Valone, I'm always with her no matter what on TV. And since we have the same major, we're always talking about TV and different things we can do for the TV network. So those two are a really big role play in my life, definitely with the TV station.
Who could I not do my job without is the grip. The grip, like I just said, they help out with the wires, they help me get my shots, and if I didn't have the grip, it'll be such a problem because it's so much wires that like the length of the wires, they help me make sure I can have slack and get not people to trip on the wires.
Who I couldn't do my job without, on play-by-play easily, for one. For play-by-play, for one, you would sing, I would say your color commentator, because it's very hard not to have someone with you just talking by if you're talking to yourself for 3 hours, you kind of start to feel you're talking to yourself for 3 hours. What else are you gonna do? There's so much you can do and give yourself breaks. But honestly, I think for anyone gets asked this kind of a question on a TV crew, it's easily director.
Who could I not do my job without? Well, back in the day, last year, it was Bobby Bush. I mean, Bobby Bush and I kind of did everything together. And then this year without AJ and Lexi on game day, and then AJ on Bison Roundup, there really wouldn't be a show. So, without them, just talent-wise, what they bring to the table, it's a great counter. It's great to have somebody on there that can intellectually go back and forth with you about the topic that you're talking about. behind the scenes without Raph and Dion and Big Rich and Lamont and all those guys that show up for the shows and do the behind the scenes work. Like Dion does the time and Raph normally does sound for the Bison Roundups. I mean, you got Sprouse that does all the stuff that Sprouse does. Who knows all those things? I don't know, the list would be. But you even have like Taylor Furco and Amber Angelo and some other people that take pictures behind the scenes and stuff. So I mean, it's really here at BCTV, it's really a team effort.
I think that digital media students and sports comm students should have knowledge when it comes to video editing, because it's a broad job. It's not just one person doing everything now. It's everyone does everything. So if you don't know how to video edit, you're not going to get a job in TV or anything else.
Also, one thing that I think would be great for us to do is add more programs for the shows on BCTV. We already have our Halloween show and our Christmas shows. Hopefully soon we will have our movie review show that I will be hosting on BCTV, and that's some stuff that we're working on to put more onto BCTV.
I think the program's doing really well where it's at right now, and there's not too many altercations that need to be made because they are doing such a great job and they're handling all of us very well and all the sources that they have very well.
I really wouldn't change anything so far. I mean, I'm enjoying what I'm doing so far. I mean, yeah, we run into problems, but in the real world, you're gonna have problems too. So I feel like it's just helping me. So there's really not much we can change, but I like this. It's a nice BCTV family, and I wish it could keep going on.
You need to just be ready for the unexpected. Always, I would say, suspect the worst. Now, I understand you can't control that, but if you at least be like, okay, this may happen, what's plan B? Have a plan B. Sometimes we don't have a plan B, I would say, and plan B has to be put into place, and we're like, uh-oh.
How would I describe BCTV? I kind of think of it as like my baby almost.
We all get along, we never really have disagreements. Yes, like we have issues, sometimes things come up, but we do work well as a team.
I know that I need to be on my A game to make sure that everything's right.
We work together, and yes, sometimes we're like, we might disagree with each other, but we get through it, and we get a product on the air, and it looks like nothing ever happened.
I describe it as like a close-knit family by the end of it because we're with each other all the time. Everyone's joking around with each other, everyone's really close. You get closer to people that you didn't really know. I love working for BCTV. I think it's so much fun. I love everyone there, like I said, and I just think it's such a great learning experience to work there because they're really prepping us like for after college, and like that's what they need to be doing.
Mass chaos.
I would describe it more as a home to me. It's another place where I can go with my, my friends. All, my comm friends are on BCTV, so we all do stuff together. We all know what's going on, and it's just another place to go and know that it's fun and you're gonna have a great time doing whatever.
Mass chaos.
I would describe BCTV as a family, a group who's always together, and we try to get things done properly,
Family, good group of people, but at the end of the day, mass chaos.
So how does everybody feel like Sprouse has been doing today?
Honestly, I feel like Sprouse has done a stellar job today. I feel like he really put it all out on the line. He pours his sweat, tears, and blood into this, and I think he's the right man for the job. What about you, Lex?
Well said, sir, well said. He is the man for the job, and I don't think he gets paid enough. Count it.
I think Eric Sprouse is one of the best things that's ever happened to the Bethany College comm department, and I think I'll leave my statement at that.
Bravo. You're welcome.
We love you, Sprouse.
Because I'm standing right here?
100%. No, because I don't.
Let's see what everybody says when I take a walk, guys.
And that's the big thing with BCTV and the entire communications department, but basically just BCTV. Everyone's willing to help each other, and it's like a family environment, and it makes everything we do here flow, and it makes it, it can be stressful at times. That's just a part of the world, and that's a part of life, and that's a part of how businesses work. BCTV is a business learning, I would say, because we're college students. It's a family just because we all teach each other and we work well together, and we're not scared to fail. And if we do fail, we figure how to get that F to a passing grade.
All the preparation that goes into making that bouquet of magic is what takes the time. And that's what Bethany College is excellent in teaching, that you have to prep. And that's the part that everybody will sit at home and they'll watch something unfold on TV and they'll say to themselves, well, now that I've sat at home and I've watched this on TV, I understand television. And you couldn't be farther from the truth, because that means if I go to the zoo, well, now I'm a koala bear. And it just doesn't work like that. That's why they have 4 years to get a degree in television production, a good one, because you have to assemble the knowledge, the know-how, a resume, a video portfolio that says what you're doing. And BCTV is perfect for that.
All right, anything else, guys? All right, we're out of here. Nice job. Head home. See you next week. Ready? Okay, guys, I found a stink bug. Yo, bloopers. Bloopers. Yo, you got that, right?